I welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters, and as you can tell, my guests are already here. Hey, one of my great friends, I tell you what, I've been in the woods with this man. We've got all kinds of deer antlers out here. He taught me how to shed hunt, and he's back again. We did it about 5 or 6 years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And he has accrued just so many sheds. He continuously keeps looking for those sheds. And that is Captain Dale Granstaff. Captain Dale, thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Good to be here.
And you brought another guy that I've known for years and years and years too, when you first got into it. Yeah. Brad Bagwell.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it has been a while. I mean, you and Matt and Eric went hunting, and that got filmed and was put on the show, and y'all just did an awesome job. And you know, game wardens are just like the rest of us. They like to hunt and fish, or they wouldn't do it. Like you wouldn't be a part of it.
Oh yeah, I enjoy
it. I know you love it.
Fishing, hunting, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Now you're eat up with it though.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
You do. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a whole bunch of antlers out here for you to view, and we're going to talk about them a little bit later. I want you to see, though, what Dale's been seeing over the years, and Brad, you can back us up too, because you know quite a bit about it also, and that is how things, this same deer just keeps coming back to the same area, as long as he's not killed or EHD or something like that, a vehicle or something like that. They just keep coming back to the same area. That's called their home range. We're going to show you some instances of that. But let me tell you what we do have. We do have dove season. Presently, right now, we're in the middle. We're started squirrel season. Started squirrel season last Saturday. Well, next Tuesday at 12 o'clock opens dove season officially across the state of Tennessee. And Kentucky, I think, starts the same time too. I think there's a few. There is the early goose season, also starts on that morning of September 1st. But what I want to do is help you out. I got numerous emails and people talking to me. They got charged with hunting over a baited field. They weren't sure. They got invited. They didn't know. We're going to try and alleviate some of that tonight. We're going to help you out. I will tell you this, the responsibility lies on you as the hunter. Bar none, it is your responsibility. So, being said that, and that's being out of the scenario, I mean, you have to, as a hunter, that's your responsibility. Dale, can you help us just a little bit on what to look for?
Well, every year we get a lot of people call us and say, you know, can you come look at my field? And it's tough to say we can jump around and look at all the fields because it may be a week before season starts, you know, and then that week things can change. So we typically just don't go look at a field. You know, we start working on opening day and just go work. But the main thing people need to do is, you know, if you're going to hunt with a friend or a friend of a friend of a friend, or if it's somewhere you're not familiar with, the best thing for you to do is show up a little early. Walk around the field and see how it's prepared, what's there. You know, if it's a sunflower field that's been bush hogged, which is perfectly legal, and you walk out there and there's corn or cracked corn on the ground or something that wasn't planted there, that should throw some red flags up, and you may want to go ask some questions.
Can I ask though, because you brought up one factor, the sunflower fields, and I've hunted in sunflower fields, but isn't there a time limit on when they had to bush hog it down?
No, they can bush hog it, and you know, the day before they can bush hog it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they can bush hog it as long as they don't bring outside sunflowers and put an add to the field. So it's got to be grown there. It's got to be grown there,
and it's got to. Mostly, what the handbook says is it has to be normal farming practices, right?
And bush hogging it down. You know, a fallow field or a field that's a food plot, you can bush hog those down,
and that
would be considered fine. Yes.
But the cracked corn and the little yellow acorns and stuff is not supposed to be allowed, is it?
Yeah, that's a little different.
And what else? I mean, Brad, because, you know, all right, I get this question all the time. What about wheat fields? What about wheat and ryegrass and things like that?
Well, we were talking about earlier, like a normal agricultural practice with the USDA, you know, I think untreated seeds around 2.5 to 3 bushels an acre. But the problem with wheat is people will go out and prepare a field early, tisket up, throw it out there, and they get a rain on it within 12 days it sprouts, and they say, well, once it sprouts, the dove's not going to come to it, and they go in there and rework it again, and then you double sow it. And typically what those fields would look like would be a really fine powdered field. Looks good on the top, but if you kick around in the dirt, you'll see the wheat seed with a shoot off of it about that long. And if you go and just look at a survey of the whole field, that could get into a double sowing situation.
Okay, now Dale, in that scenario right there, a hunter comes in there and he's got a freshly, you know, it's been harrowed and everything, it's been flattened and everything. He knows that the seed's out there, or it has been, the farmer has told him that, but then he sees the green shoots and new seed.
A lot of sprouted shoots and some new seed. He needs to say, okay, how did you prepare this field? What did you plant some here last week and then come back and put more on top of it? You need to ask questions, because that's what we'll do when we show up.
Now that is illegal,
That's
right?
illegal. It's called sweetening the field, adding seeds to it.
Okay.
If they've sprouted or if the dove have eaten a lot of it, then they add more to it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to throw it out.
As a farmer, you know, if you planted, let's say, wheat on your tobacco field, and it's sprouted,
yes.
you know, you're a farmer. That's a farming practice.
That's right.
And if the farmer wants a thicker stand and he wants to go put some more on it, that's fine as a farming practice. But you couldn't hunt it then. You know, you can't add to it and hunt it.
You can't sweeten the pot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it's called.
And other than that, just, you know, obvious if there's any, you know, gravel roads around and it's just the cedar got wide, or if it's piled up in piles, or if it's like sunflower seed just blatantly on the ground, you know, on top.
Now you bring up a very good point. I mean, because they use the gravel, dove like to peck at the gravel, and that helps them crunch the seed when it gets inside their crawl that we call. But if somebody's got a pile, that's a no-no. That's not a normal farming practice.
Yeah, you would.
A farmer would freak if you saw, you know, 200 pounds of wheat seed there.
A normal deal, you wouldn't go down the railroad tracks either.
No.
I've seen that done before, on top of the railroad ties. It's a lot of birds, but no.
That's not right. No. That's not right. Well, I do know that, you know, a lot of the tobacco farmers will go ahead and bring in their tobacco, and then they don't really kill it off, the tobacco, but they just come in with, say, a drill, and they'll drill for wheat or something like that, and they might plant it that way. But that's fine. That is a normal farming practice. And I think that's what we need to relay to our viewers out here is, if you normally would do that, a farmer normally would do that, then you ought to be okay.
It's probably okay.
It's probably all right. But if a farmer's not going to do it, or if he's going to freak out if he sees this big pile, then I would steer very clear from that. Here's another one. And I get these, and I'm just bringing them up as I get them too. And I had a person email me, and they said, Hugh, we had a field, it was a good field, normal farming practice, but the next field over was heavily baited. Does that make their field that is normal practice, does that hurt them because the birds are flying towards it?
It could.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
depends on how
thinking.
close it is, and every
It was
situation.
the very next field.
Every situation is so different. But if their field is being influenced by the baited field, then yeah, it could be shut down because this one's baited and theirs is being influenced by the baited field.
Okay.
Yeah, that has happened before. Yes.
That's what I'm saying, and not only just dove, but deer too. I've seen it. I know you know which one I'm talking about on a deer, because Eric found it. The guy next to him didn't want him to deer hunt, so he baited the fence line.
Yeah, it was just a property line case. One guy didn't like the other one hunting.
That's exactly
and then
what
called
it was.
us, and then to get the full story about it. But
all right, we got to take a break. Right now, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to get more in depth. I hope this first segment's helped you out, because it's helped me out. We'll be right back to more Southern Woods and Waters.